cute.
But the problem is OBS changed its interface, and everything is just off enough that it's like, okay.
I've heard nothing but complaints about the update.
No, I just updated it today, not realizing it changed everything.
Yeah.
Not that I use it a whole bunch.
There we go. Okay. Yay, Max can hear us.
We do look good, thank you.
All right. Cool.
1 second, I'm conversing with our
Someone's
child.
raising the average.
All right.
And I
Hey!
got this too.
And Elena Shalat, I love your name.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Look at you on the AIE Guild page instead of Ted Sammy. Fancy.
Hey, let me turn my phone off. No one need to hear the kids' text tone.
What was that, Mew?
Oh, just you're on the fancy AIE Guild page instead of your personal.
Oh, yeah. No, Max let me in the door, so I took advantage.
Yay, thank you, Max.
Now you'll never leave.
Yeah. No, we've been doing it a couple times, so it's just easier here, and then I just export it to YouTube, to our channel there, then download the video, export the audio, edit it, throw it back up. Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. All right, Mew, you're in charge of this circus.
Cheers, buddy.
Yep, that's your first mistake.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's made many mistakes.
Oh.
No, I'm saying, no.
Except I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's okay. Come back.
I was being self-deferential, not being mean to him.
Otherwise, we're all shifting.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry. There we go. Yeah, I was trying to mute myself. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah.
You turn off camera something.
I was trying to mute, not blink. Yeah. All right.
I'm the only Mew here. What are you talking about? Mewing.
Okay.
Alrighty, are we ready to go?
Yep. That's right as well ever.
Right. Close enough. All right. Nope. Thump, 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 thump. Hopefully you can't hear that.
Nope.
That would be a reluctant little boy finally going downstairs to eat pizza. You'd think we were feeding him poison.
Wait, he's reluctant to eat pizza?
Pizza?
Yes.
Because it cuts into his Minecraft time.
It cuts, and it's not ramen.
Yeah, he kind of goes back and forth. It's ramen or pizza. He's definitely going on college.
Yep.
Alrighty. Let us begin in 5, 4, 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Are you ready for WOTLK? Again?
Taking down bosses and TOT in ESO.
Final Fantasy XIV gets retro. Maps, that is.
Get Lotro before the shadow falls.
And we have Corley and Seema here to talk to us about AIE in SOTOR. Welcome.
All that and more coming up right about now.
Woohoo!
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
And with that, welcome to episode 393 of the podcast celebrating you, the LA Octa-S gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Mewcow. Greetings, guildies. And to my virtual left is Makala.
Hey folks, there's a pear crisp in the guild kitchen and a bunch of pumpkin treats because I am that witch.
Mm-hmm.
And to her right is Tetsemi.
I have pumpkin.
And by the other voices you can hear chuckling in the background, we are this week joined by special guests Corley and Seema, who are here to talk to us about AIE in SOTOR. So welcome to both of you.
Hi, hello.
All right, so with that, we'll go around and see what everyone's been up to recently. This is where we talk to our guests and ourselves, see what we've been up to. So let's see here. Looks like it's going to be Corley first because you happen to be there alphabetical.
So yeah, I've been mainly just playing Star Wars, Star Wars: The Old Republic that we're going to talk about today.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, messing around with my Steam Deck, which is right here,
Sweet.
and doing a lot of stuff to my house. Yesterday I was putting up gutters, trying to make the garage not flood my basement. But yeah, that's the way. Other than that and work, that's about it around here. So
Is that
kinda boring.
a Raiders of the Lost Ark hat behind you there, Corley?
On top of a head crab?
Yes, actually, that is. Yep,
That's awesome.
that is a fedora. Yeah, actually, I think I got this at Disney World.
Nice.
At
I think that was a good
Studios.
purchase.
Yep.
Yeah.
The head crab appreciates it.
Yes.
Yep. So,
right.
yeah, that's all I got going on.
Alrighty, well, then let's move over to Makala, who
hi.
is next on the list. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Tired because our child started a job at a bakery and a grocery store, which is amazing, and they absolutely love it. But that shift starts at 4 a.m. That child does not have their driver's license yet, so we have coffee and grunting at each other, barely legibly, starting at 3 a.m.
I could wave at you because I'm awake and have not gone to bed at that point.
Excellent. Yeah. Other than that, in game chat, our new Call of Cthulhu campaign has started, and we are in 1930 and tracking down or trying to find out what happened to 2 students at Miskatonic University that went missing last year while on a expedition around this town. 2 went missing, 1 died. So we're there for the expedition, but we're also trying to figure out what happened to them. So that's a good time, always nice and spooky. And in our Star Wars game, our 3 Force sensitives finally built lightsabers this week,
Cool.
which was a huge thing we've been going for. We got some new holocrons and new abilities from this corrupt Jedi temple, where a fallen Jedi pretty much destroyed and corrupted everything. And then the ghost of her master, who was also her father, informed us, oh, yes, I can still feel her out there. So we have a 1,000-year-old Jedi, well, a Sith, still out there, and I'm fairly certain that we're going to have to deal with her eventually. Oh, and
All right.
doing a lot of baking, because even though it doesn't feel like fall, the calendar says it's fall, so I'm making all the foods.
Yeah, I definitely have pressed X to doubt that as well, as it's been 99 here.
Yeah.
But speaking about heat in your area, how about you, Tetsemi? What have you been up to?
Mostly helping said roommate move.
Yeah, that's the other big thing in our life.
Yeah,
Yes.
our roommate and AIE member is moving. She got her own place, and so Thursday was we'd been moving everything, like, boxes, loading up books and stuff like that, and then Thursday was here's the 9 pieces of furniture we really just don't want to move, so we're just gonna rent a U-Haul truck for 3 hours, hire a couple of guys to move it for a couple hours, and yeah, we had everything cleaned out, ready to go. And they had the stuff in the back of the 15-foot U-Haul in like 45 minutes, drove over to her place, and they had it unloaded in under an hour and done. Like, it was like butter. It was great. And then we've just been helping her. McCullough's been going through her extensive book library and filling up four big IKEA bookshelves full of books, and I've been hanging shelves and other stuff to help get ready, install the pet door for her and that sort of thing. So a lot of real life stuff, but when I have been in game, it's mostly been Final Fantasy 14, just some island chores and doing the tribal quests, because I've knocked out Endwalker and Shadowbringers. Those are all now at the 8th level Sworn.
Bloodsworn or something like that. Or
Bloodsworn, yeah,
Sworn.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with the Kojin and the Anada. What are the ones on the bridge in the snake?
That's about right, but I think it's pronounced differently.
Yeah.
But I forget how.
I'm almost done with them, and then I've gone over and dealing with the Vath and the Vanu, I think is the other tribal quest, getting those caught up. So just been kind of puttering around with reputations on those. And then ESO, it's weird because I'll log in to do some dailies and go, oh, I have this quest. Let me see this. And I'll look up and it's like 3 hours later. I'm like, what happened? I follow the quest and it just goes like, it really is impressive what they've done with because everything's voiceover. Mm-hmm. And when you get voiceover in quest text, for me, I am much more engaged in that story because you're hearing different voice actors play their parts, and somebody asks you for help or stuff. It resonates more than just the text. So yeah, I've
absolutely
done a lot of I'll just take a look and see where this quest goes and lose track of time completely in that. And then SWTOR I have been popping in because I followed the extensive guides of here's how you unlock blue shells to get to whatever the max level you can put in the shells are with the blue modifications. I think it's 330 if I remember correctly. So I unlocked that and got all 8 of my characters equipped with the left side of their gearing. And then I'm working on the right side stuff on and off, just depending on that. But I am looking forward to season 3 of which we'll talk about upcoming of what's it called? Season 3 of the
Galactic Seasons.
Galactic Season.
Do you realize, Sesame, that there are kids now playing SWTOR that can't tell time on a round clock and don't know what you mean by left side, right side?
Yeah.
Yup. Yeah,
it kind of is still on the left-hand side. Well, I guess it's below, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes. Everything's on the right side of the.
Yeah, I'm still used to the old interface where it was armor was on the left side and But regardless, I've got the 5 armor pieces, the shells that you can put the modifications in unlocked, and then there's 3 non-legendary slots that I have to fill out, and then I've got the 2 legendaries at 334, I think, on at least one of my main characters. So
nice.
Yeah, just poking around with that because I definitely want to ask you guys about gearing later in the show, but we got to find out what Mew. What have?
No. Actually, we're gonna see what's up with SEMA first.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, all the things. Like when I was listening to you guys talk about, naming all the games, and you mentioned Lotro, we had this like really cool interview this week for Behind the Games with one of the writers of Lotro. And since we're talking about SWTOR tonight, I just want to mention too, we did an equally fantastic interview with the narrative director for SWTOR, and I learned what a narrative director actually was and how that's different from a writer. And then from the Lotro writer, well, actually I'm learning this from all of the people we've talked about, is how they've gotten to where they got in their career. And there's like this recurring theme of like they were open to new experiences, they put themselves out there, they communicated a lot. And it really kind of hit home for me because I'm more of a worrywart kind of person. Like,
right.
What if this bad thing happens, or what if that doesn't work? And these people that we talk to, they don't even have that as part of their decision process when they're making their life choices. And I'm like, I think there's a lesson in there for me. So like that's been a fun thing going on for me, is getting to talk to all these people. And then I also gotta mention Wrath dropping tomorrow because
yes.
I am unexplainably excited about Wrath coming tomorrow.
Neat.
Unexplainable because I've played it before.
I was gonna say,
Right,
you
right.
were
I'm
there
not
with
one of
us.
these people that that missed Wrath and you wants to know what the hubbub is about. I was there.
Yeah,
Funny.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'm still so excited about it. Partly because we've known for a while and it's like whenever you have the end of an anticipation coming,
Hmm.
you get that kind of closure. But I've been like trying to do all these things to get ready and I'll be like, for one thing, I'll look at my inventory and I'll go, okay, I'm going to clean up my inventory. But then I'll come across this like quest item and I'm like, oh, what quest is this? And I'll go look that up and I go, oh, I should just finish that quest. And then it'll just fly off.
right.
So yep, I'm looking forward to that. Plus, it's looking like we're going to have a raid team. I mean, we do have a raid team. We've run already Kara and Zulaman, which are BC raids, but we're going to have
Right.
a raid in Wrath. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
And then yes, I'm willing to. We can talk about SWTOR gearing. For sure, and other things in SWTOR. But yes, I also have my gear at 330 with implants at 334.
Nice. Yeah, don't worry,
But
Max.
yeah,
we won't
so-
do stat talk.
We can't do sad talk with that.
We
I don't
only
know, I
we
think
only got an hour.
No, exactly.
Also been reading books with my sisters because we decided to have a book club. We have a
Oh,
sister book
awesome.
club. Yep. So I made a Discord server I called it a family server, but it's really me and my sisters, and we meet once a week, talk about books we've read and everything else in the world, obviously. So
That's
that's been really
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, I'm
And
pretty
it's
sure 2
fall.
to 3 people you have a club.
right.
That's right. That's right. And we sometimes read the book, not always. Like last week, none of us had started the book, so it was fun. But we've read a ton of books this year because of that. So it's a
From what
good
I've seen,
experience.
75% of book club meetings, they don't actually talk about the book, and sometimes they'll forget to talk about the book. So
Yes. It's really a great way to have I don't want to say forced, but like a dependable social moment
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
family. Yeah, family that's distant. So that's been really good. Okay, I'll stop talking now.
No.
never a worry. And then I guess I'll do my bit as far as in the real world that we occasionally wander out in. I did spend today going to a Star Wars birthday party for a coworker's daughter, where we did get to meet the actual Leia, and she spent some time reading her story to the kids there. They also did some lightsaber training.
Nice.
Yep. There was a saber master teaching the kids, and then trying very hard to recruit adults into his adult class, including Mrs. Mew, because he heard, she had did some actual karate weapons training, like I want to say like 10 years ago. So he was immediately like, "Oh yeah, no, you really should join my class." And he was doing everything he could to recruit her, and she's like, "It's like no, my my docket's a little full right now."
yeah.
Yeah, besides working in kiddo, she's also going back to do some school for some very interesting stuff. She's going to be or wants to be a speech language pathologist, and I'm still kind of amused by one of the things that our kiddo said. Well, then you need to teach the cats to talk. So,
Yep.
so
I don't know if we want to know what Sam and Dean would say, though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Sam and Dean.
That's her
They
black
came with
cat.
those names, though.
They came with those
They came
names.
with the names.
They came with the names.
That's
2 black cat
even-
brothers.
That's even more interesting.
Right.
Yep. However, they definitely have the opposite names. They have the wrong names. Dean is the shy one that. But we don't need to know what Dean's thinking, because we know. Like, even without him speaking English, it's very obvious that he wants us to let him in the backyard now. And why haven't I been fed?
I mean,
Pretty
that's
much the
most-
only 2 things.
That's
Yeah.
most cats, though.
Yes.
Why haven't I
I
been
think
fed?
that's a lot of cats.
Yes. But yeah, no, it's. But that was our real life excursion going into the outside world today. It's always kind of weird and spooky doing that nowadays, but it's happening. It's weird. We did, however, get to have cupcakes afterwards, so that was a nice little
That,
there's
it is definitely a benefit.
Yep.
yeah, because there was a cupcake place next to the karate place, so they just moved the party over, and yeah, that was nice. I had a strawberry mocha, which was kind
Oh,
of
Ooh.
interesting.
very tasty. Um, in the gaming worlds, yeah, my Final Fantasy is also a bit on maintenance. I pretty much log in, jump onto my island, make sure those mammoths are doing what they're supposed to do. Poke at the animals, poke at the crops, and
Yep.
make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. I've been spending more of my time trying to catch up on the Guild Wars 2 story still.
Mm.
Just finished Path of Fire, which was a very good story. I'm in the Living World season 4 right now. Did some satisfying stuff in there. Which is really interesting. Like I'm still trying to wrap my head around the way they do things there, because they've got the base game. They have Living World season 1 and 2, then Heart of Thorns, then season 3, then Path of Fire, then season 4, then what is it? Ice Brood Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then End of Dragons, and it's like the off season stuff is actually just as meaty as the expansion stuff, and you're just like, what is this? Because you're thinking, oh, it's just going to be a few quest lines, a little bit of fluff here and there. It's like, no, they do some deep stuff, like important stuff happens between expansions, and not in books. Funny how that works. But it's I've got a couple new one new mount, working on two more, which is still a refreshing take on how they make mounts interesting in that game.
Right.
I'm kind of looking forward to the way to see how much Warcraft stole from Guild Wars 2 for their dragons,
Right.
because like that philosophy of this mount does a thing besides just get you from A to B. It's not just I now move in 3D space. No, like they feel meaty, and sometimes they feel like boats, and you can't turn the thing fast enough, and you end up falling off the edge of the cliff. But yeah, no, it's and every mount has a very unique purpose. I'm always amazed. One can teleport, one goes super fast, and apparently, if it goes fast enough, it can hydroplane over water, which is
Ooh.
kind of
Wow,
crazy.
who knew?
Yeah, and the Griffin, which is not really a flying mount; it's a gliding mount, which is also kind of crazy. But it's just I'm amazed that I've slept on this game as long as I have. Because it is pretty interesting, and it's nice to have a main character that actually talks. It's it's.
You mean you're tired of just nodding?
Yeah.
having the strongest neck muscles in the world,
Yeah.
because you do a lot of nodding and a lot of punching the hands and smirking and
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. But enough about all that. So we've talked a little bit about the SWTOR, so we'll dig into that shortly. We need to, however, get into this week's news and see what's going on in the guild.
Yes.
AIE News.
All right, in streaming podcast in streaming and guild podcast news. Hey, Escape Podcast episode 439 playing on a Steam Deck. Hey, I've heard of that podcast and these people involved. SWTOR on a Steam Deck. Yeah, it's real and it's spectacular. They brought on their good friend and our good friend Corley to talk about that and more on the episode of Escape Podcast for Star Wars: The Old Republic with SEMA. With AIE SEMA, Max Gray, and Astromech EPC 439. You guys just shot way past us with your whole weekly than we're every other week. And
Yep.
you're.
Yep.
Oh,
Sorry, if you see me laughing, it's because my wife came in here and started making faces at me.
awesome.
That's a sign of a good
With the
relationship.
camera.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I do the same. I do the same to Ted if we weren't co-hosts on this thing.
Yep.
All right, shipping your first game, Behind the Games chat with Samara Atkinson. By the way, you can find both SWTOR Escape Podcast and Behind the Games at New Overlord. Wow. New Overlords. I always want to put World Overlords in there.
No.
Newoverlords.com, by the way.
That's later.
Yeah, don't get Max ideas.
We all know Max and Steam are going to take over the world. So, Getting started in game development, especially in indie game development, takes a huge amount of commitment and a lot of work. Sometimes narrowing the focus and just getting your first game out there is the breakthrough you need. Tamara Atkinson is an indie game developer that talks about that's just about to ship her first game or his first game. He talks with them about what it took, how an earlier project didn't work out, what his advice is. Great talk with Tamara, and they hope to play Parkour Posse soon. All right, and in Dr. Gameology, the psychology of Pokemon is out in the wild. Dr. Gameology, Season 2, Episode 38. Dr. Gameology is joined by Jenny and Jean to discuss the growth of the show and the release of the psychology of Pokemon, the power to catch 'em all. Dr. Daniel Kaufman, the real-life person behind Dr. Gameology, wrote Chapter 15 of this book and is getting ready to talk about it at the Orlando Nerd Night. The Gaming Persona crew talks about the different ins and outs of seeing the Pokemon party have an impact on daily life, so everyone can aim to do their best. Also, their current gaming library: Pokemon,
Danganronpa.
Danganronpa, thank you. 2, Dark Souls, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Fallout 3, and Fallout 4, and Bioshock. You can find Dr. Gameology at www.buzzsprouts.com.
Well, that's where the audio is. Just look for Dr. Gameology.
Yeah, just go. Yeah, wherever Gameology is served.
And in Boards and Swords, Block and Key, Carcione 20th Anniversary Edition. Or is it Carcassonne?
Carcassonne.
Okay. What he said. Disney, the CCG. Disney is making a CCG. You can play your dead characters in a new RPG. Plus, Chris went to Nova Open, so Philip has to look at some out-of-context comments on some Warhammer 40k news.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Oh, Lord, yeah. I'd listen to it just for that. And in Working Class Nerds, episode 168, the big announcement. Reminder, the show is not safe for work, mainly due to language. Marcus and Nick are joined this week by a longtime pillar of the Nerds community, Atrax. The three of them go over the most sidebars of any episode so far and have a huge green announcement about the future of Working Class Nerds. Please enjoy. You can also find more of Atrax at twitch.tv, _Atrax.
And over in game news, starting with the Nomads, in particular, Dual Universe. It's launching Tuesday. AIE will have a corp and can help anyone interested in the channel for Nomads, unless there's a dual. Is there a Dual Universe or is it just Nomads?
Nah, it's just Nomads, I think.
Just Nomads, okay. There's some good stuff at the core with room for the dev team to grow it. Katavari is taking the lead in this game, so yay for Katavari. Dual Universe is now available on Steam or Steam Decks if you happen to have a Steam Deck. With
like Orly.
With a free demo server for all to try out the game.
And there is a Dual Universe channel, Max says.
Excellent.
Oh,
And Max will be in there all week. It's kind of like he's a comedian performing at a nightclub.
Yep.
It's the new hotness, like a merging of Eve and No Man's Sky. So should be interesting to see. No Man's Sky. Yep. Try the voxel veal, as Max says.
It'll be here all week.
Yep. All right. Over in Lost Ark, Arktoberfest, I see what they did there, began last week on September 16th. Because that's a fun fact. Oktoberfest doesn't actually start in October. It starts before October. But it's starting on September 16th. You'll find details on the playlostark.com or the playlowstark.com site. Also, the new Machinist class will be available September 28th. So might see a little uptick in activity about then.
Awesome. All right. Fun side note. I got the exact same update about the karate party and the cupcakes from your wife. I looked down like, I'm getting an update from Jen about the Mrs. Mew about the cupcakes.
Yep, not surprised.
Quite delightful. All right. And in WoW news, guild invites for both Horde and Alliance can be found through the Guild Finder. Just look for Alia Octa Est Libertas for the Horde side and Alia Octa Est Virtus for the Alliance side. And now, what everyone has been waiting for, WoW Classic. Wrath of the Lich King will be live on September, I cannot read, on Monday, September 26th at 3 p.m. server or Pacific, so 6 p.m. server. Many new players in the guild enjoying the XP crunch in the last few days of the 50% XP buff. And there is at least one 10-man raid team currently. And in other news, at each new raid 25 tier, the past raid loot will be available on smaller teams. So for raid 10-man raids and dungeons. There will be many historic dungeons, so 5-man groups can still gear up for the previous raid tier.
That's an interesting change.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember during Wrath being all jealous of everyone's really pretty raid gear. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too. Just sort of going, hey, it's just as hard to do 10-man.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
100%. Yeah. It was
It's actually harder to do 10-man
it was
because
harder
Yeah.
to do 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you lose
Oh,
one
my-
person,
yeah.
10%.
Yeah, you know, you're
gone.
nuts.
Yeah.
I was
What-
very, very jealous of OMF's raid pants. And it was an ongoing joke between the two of us
Yeah.
for a
Yes.
long
Did they have-
time.
Did they have 10-man raid? I thought Karazhan was the only 10-man raid in
In
Wrath.
BC, but no.
Oh,
in
in
Wrath,
BC,
Wrath.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And the
That's
way
the
they
first
went
time
to
they
I
Wrath,
mean,
Wrath,
there's
they did-
also Zulaman came at
Yes.
the end of.
Yeah,
BC.
Zulaman. I remember doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was, they did 10-man and 25-man, and then they did 10. It was 10-man normal, 10-man heroic, 25 normal, 25 heroic for that was not a fun time because they all dropped to different gear levels. It drove us crazy. All right.
Oh.
But
All right,
Seema, I'm glad
School
you're excited about it. No, I am. It's like I've been seeing all the stuff and I'm like
I thought you meant like I'm glad someone's excited about it.
no because
No, he's excited about your excitement.
yes. Yeah, because
I mean, it's just crazy because like right before we got together tonight, I was thinking, oh, I have a bunch of quests I haven't done in Blade's Edge on my Warlock. I mean,
Right.
I've done them on my Priest and I've done them on my Hunter.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh, that's gold that I can use in Wrath.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did
Yes.
the plague wreak as much havoc this time as it did originally,
I don't.
or you
I
just
mean,
avoided
I
it?
don't. I didn't run afoul of it really. I mean,
Yeah.
I did log into okay, the server that we play on, Mancrick, is 96% horde, or maybe it's 90% horde. But I rolled up I do have an alliance character because gnome.
Mm-hmm.
But she's only level 20. But I went. It's weird to go into Stormwind and not see another player.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's just a weird experience. So when the sort of undead invasion was going on in Stormwind, there was all these frostworm dragons flying in the sky and the giant flesh patchwork type things trundling around, and the guards were killing them all. So turns out you don't need the players.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, there was a
Well, yeah, especially they get upgraded when it's at the pre-patch, right? So those
Yeah.
cards can do damage.
Yeah, there was a bug in the system, and it actually started earlier than it was supposed to and ended earlier than it was supposed to because they had some internal when they converted Wrath to the new back end. They missed a couple of tables and settings and stuff like that. So because it was supposed to run for 168 hours, and it only ran for a few days because there was a screw up in the conversion that they apologized for, and
Oh,
yeah.
I wondered why I hadn't seen anybody, because in the beginning people were getting the disease, which turns them
Right.
into a zombie, and then they would go through portals and stuff to go out into other zones of the game and infect
No.
NPCs and just
Yeah.
general trolling behavior.
Yeah, it kind of went from phase 1 because I think there were 5 phases. It kind of went from phase 1 to phase 5 in the span of a week, and it was supposed to last 4 weeks, and it just yeah.
But that is one kind of weird thing about Classic. I didn't feel it in Vanilla, but TBC was really short.
Yeah.
And I think Wrath is going to feel really short too. I wouldn't have minded. Well, I mean, I want Wrath to start tomorrow now because I'm like
Right.
so used to the idea.
Right.
But I wouldn't have minded because it would be nice to, make it through the raid tiers and stuff. So we couldn't do it through the raid tiers because we don't have 25 people. But
Right. No, I'm
think
hoping they
it's
do
pretty good
stretch it
timing.
out for because
yeah, because we will be able to hit all the raids this time.
yeah,
So we want to have time.
I really hope they don't do a Cataclysm Classic because you can play Cataclysm now in retail. The content's there.
Yeah,
Right, right.
I've heard speculation. They think that they may be skipping that just because of that very reason. Why it
Makes
wasn't really a self-contained. It was more just a here's the next version of WoW. Oh no, by the way, here's a couple of extra zones.
Right.
Like
Right,
that's pretty
right.
much what it felt like. And yeah, and then it wasn't until Mists that things really were like, oh, here's
So
a
if-
traditional one again.
If we're gonna speculate,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like they are gonna take us to Cataclysm, or they're gonna do something different. Like they won't stop at Wrath.
Right, right.
So if I'm going to speculate, I'll speculate this way and say, oh, maybe they're going to do Wrath Plus, like keep going down a different path and just don't do Cataclysm.
That would be
Instead,
good.
instead of take Wrath sort of towards, like I would like to see transmog and pets and mounts across all the characters. Those are the two. I mean,
Oh,
right.
absolutely. That's fun.
Yeah, no, if
Yeah.
they brought in not new story, but just some of the systems,
Yeah.
I think that.
but there are plenty of people out there that really enjoyed the dungeons and the raids in Cataclysm, except for Dragon's Soul. So I don't know. I think whatever they do is probably going to be a
it's
fun
gonna be
thing.
controversial regardless. Yeah.
or yes, controversial.
Yeah.
But yes,
The standard Blizzard hates their players and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Actually, just put
another
in quotes. This game company hates their players.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
because we say it. Yeah, you can hear it about BioWare too, and that's
Yeah.
another thing I've really. I mean, I knew this already, but really learned in talking to these people for behind the games is that nobody hates any of their players ever.
No,
It's like
exactly.
there's no business case for that. There's
No.
no reason. I mean, if you did, you wouldn't even have a reason to get up in the morning and go to
Yeah,
work.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes no
Closest-
sense at all.
The closest to that is we know better than the players is that's the closest to real that I've seen of the sentiments.
Yeah.
Like it's never
Yes.
we hate them. It's well, we think this might be better for them. Is what I've
Yeah.
seen
Right,
personally myself.
more of a kind of patronizing sort of thing.
Yes.
Right, right.
You don't
I
actually
agree.
want that thing you're begging for. No, that would ruin your experience. Here, have this instead.
Right. Yes. So on this SWOTOR segment that we've been talking about,
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's finish up the news so we can get to SOTOR. All right.
It's a door.
Yes, on to ESO.
In ESO, yes. Cool things the guild has been doing. They've been running around killing world bosses while talking about the fun they're having in the Trial of Tribute tournament. Yeah, I lost all my, to no one's surprise, I lost all my matches this week. We do not have an update currently because there is still one game to be played in this week's total, but if it gets done tonight, I think they're probably playing right now from the looks of the channel. We will give you an update in the either at the end of the show or in the show notes. And as Kinney says, we've been playing our weekly Tales of Tribute matches for the AI tournament, posting victories and defeats in Discord for all to see. We are still doing dungeons, zone clears, and having fun. There will be a second Tales of Tribute tournament being considered for mid-January. Also, Firesong will be out November 1st on PC and November 15th for consoles, and will expand on the ongoing legacy of the Breton storyline with a new island to explore and the conclusion of the year-long adventure. Firesong will also bring out a new Tales of Tribute patron, the Druid King, and that should be fun to try out. Yeah, if you are ever like looking for story and content put out on a regular, consistent, quarterly basis, ESO's your game. They just, I don't know how they're doing it,
Oh.
but they're putting, no. Darn you, DP, defeated Kenny. Anyway, yeah, ESO just has this cadence of content, and it's it's amazing. Even more than Final Fantasy 14. Like they're putting out serious content. It's impressive. But speaking of Final Fantasy 14,
Mute.
Here you want to hear about Final Fantasy 14. Well, the map night continues every Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. They would like you to join them for treasure and rabbit-themed monster arenas.
both.
Areas. Yes. And straight from Elaine of Shallot, also known as Saja Mashraka, we have October 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern. The Final Fantasy XIV Retro Treasure Map group will be running Heaven's Ward treasure maps. Because these are level 60 content, they are accessible to free trial players as well. Anyone who is level 60 and has access to all of the Heaven's Ward zone is welcome to join. You okay over there, Tets?
McCullough?
I'm perfectly fine. Thank you very much.
That's not how you pronounce her name, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's quite all right. It's quite all right.
How do you pronounce it then?
Shalot.
Like Lady of Shalott.
Lady of Shalot.
Ah.
It's an Arthurian story.
Yes.
I
And
see.
she's a big
Well,
Arthurian fan, so yeah, it was just like. But that's what we
I
do.
wasn't
We
gonna
mangle
say
names here.
Yes.
We really do.
Well, maybe it's a one I've read and not heard aloud.
There you
Exactly.
go.
Yes. The aforementioned person can be contacted in Discord or in game if anyone has any questions. Join as they gleefully gain glamour and gil. If the RNG is in their favor, maybe they will reach the last room of the Aquapolis. Which I keep forgetting that's what they call the treasure rooms, is the Aquapolis, because there's a thing you do every week called the Wondrous Tales with Chloe. And there's usually a spot for the Aquapolis, and I'm like, I forget what that is. Like, oh
Right.
yeah, do a treasure map, and you can get that little thing checked out on your book.
Yep.
All right, and as far as game news, October 7th is the next letter from the producer live with news on 6.25 and beyond. I believe it's going to be their 8th, 14-hour one.
Oh my goodness.
Every now and then they get a wild hair and they just want to just do a 14-hour stream of just them talking about stuff coming up. So
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
So
Yeah.
this is a producer letter. The producer of the game will do a 14-hour stream. It's
Wow, that's
nuts.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
and that's why it's starting at 9:30 p.m. Pacific, I believe.
Yeah.
Because they start it early for them, and then it's going to go 14 hours. So
Makes sense.
So yeah, this is also usually where the really wacky stuff happens. Soken in particular likes to show up in random costumes and troll people with those. So yeah, expect some wildness. They did say that while the slides will have Japanese and English, the audio will be in Japanese. So if you need a live translator, you'll want to join one of the Discords, or
Makes sense.
the Reddit usually has like a play-by-play that's usually fairly up to date.
Yeah.
But yeah, expect some wackiness on October 7th.
Awesome. All right. And in STO news, we mourn the passing of Louise Fletcher, who made us love to hate her character, Kai Wynn. Louise Fletcher was a well-celebrated actress, I think mostly known for Nurse Ratched. And I think she died at, 88, I believe? So
Oh, I love to hate her in DS9.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
She did her
plays a
job
very
so
lovable-
well.
She plays a character that you really do just.
Yeah.
Save 35% on all legendary ships and bundles until 9/26 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Star Trek Online Ascension, a new content drop is live. It includes an event called The Emperor's Will, which rewards a new Tier 6 ship. Our fleet hosts a fun night every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern. They can help gain levels or gear, whatever you might want. If nothing else, they run TFOs or events. The Fleet Action Report, a video podcast, records live every Monday at 11 p.m. Eastern. They sometimes ask for help from their audience. Please make sure you check the STO in AIE Discord. Fleet Action Star Trek Fleet Week will begin on 10/10 and end on 10/15. This is the first time the event hosted by Cryptic Studios, Star Trek Online, and Modophius Star Trek Adventures. See their planned schedules at arcgames.com.
And
I believe this
in-
is the first. Oh, I
ahead.
was going to say just a quick aside. This is the first time the story content is now including the illustrious Phil Wheaton as
Yes.
part.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think that's why it's called the Emperor's Will.
Yep.
Also,
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah. So it's but yeah, finally we're seeing a bit of Wesley Crusher in the game. So.
All right. And in the aforementioned Guild Wars 2, the much-loved Halloween event is coming up. Last year it started on October 5th and ran for a whole month, as Halloween stuff should. As always,
Yeah.
AI Zyphos is there to help if you want to see why Guild Wars 2 has thrived for a decade. Mandatory Fun Night is Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Dungeons and More nights are on the second Friday of each month. Still looking for materials for the Guild Hall? Talk to Jedi for details.
And over in Lord of the Rings Online, this week was update 33.2. It has brought some folks rolling up new tunes to try the new race class combinations. It has been great seeing the starter zones really busy with all those combos. The new mini expansion, Before the Shadow, is now available for pre-sale. The new mini expansion is expected to drop on November 9th, so stay tuned for possible events when Before the Shadow drops. All right, we are done with our news for now. So we're going to get back to Corley and Seema, who's just been so silent this whole time, and it's
Haven't had a word
talking
to
about
say.
stuff.
no. Yep. So now we're going to see what's going on with SWTOR because we haven't talked anything about that.
Not at all.
So what
Go
has
ahead.
been going on in SWTOR?
You can see we practiced this ahead of time.
Yeah.
We're all professionals here.
Well, in case we didn't mention it before, and I don't think we could have because it was just a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
we won another Total Galactic War, which is a week-long effort that the guild puts together. And the way it's structured in SWTOR is like everything you do in the game, you get points, and so you try to beat other guilds in your total number of points. And it's kind of strategic because you have to pick the planet that you want to battle toward, and then you try to pick it with guilds that you think you can beat. Basically.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very strategic.
Yes.
And Corley made the decision that we would go after this daily area called the Black Hole, and that was like right on because we sailed home with that win. So we have one more
Congrats.
planet
It was
under our
surprising.
belt.
Do we have a...
Yeah.
We were looking at a bunch of other planets, and this one group. So you can only invade one planet or one zone, I guess it is, depending on what it is, per guild. But there was a guild that has like all these co-guilds, and
And it
it's
wasn't
just
us.
the name,
Co-guilds.
and it's the name, yeah, and the name is just spelled different in each one. And I'm like, well, they invaded like 8 planets. I'm like, we might look at one of their planets. No, they would have beat us on every single planet.
Yeah.
With the total points that we had. It's like they won like 6 planets. And I'm like, holy crap. I mean, they must have been really cranking out the points. So, yeah.
Do we have a list anywhere of all the planets that we've won during Total Galactic War?
We
do,
but it's not sorted.
Yeah.
It's not sorted.
Okay.
Well, okay, so it's, I mean, that's like inventory in Star Wars. It's not sortable,
pretty
it's not searchable. Come on.
Right, yeah. It's got hope.
Yeah.
You know, just throw.
We
throw
can't
the,
we can't find it, and once we get it, we can't sort it.
Right.
So
I
just
think
throw the
DC
dart.
does.
Just throw the dart
Okay.
and see what you find.
Yeah.
Yep. So, the other thing that's going on right now, we've gotten some new content. Obviously, 7.0 came out, changed just about everything in the game. The newest thing though is the R4 raid, and it's probably one of the hardest raids or operations, as I call it on SWTOR, that we've had in a game. And we've been beating our heads against the first boss for a while, although in our defense, we didn't have a full team. We had a lot of subs because real life happens. But our operations team, the one that Seema and I are on, and Max and a couple other officers and some other good players we have, we finally beat the first boss this last Thursday.
Congrats.
But we beat it and we all died.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, that's how you do it for your first kill.
We finished it. Well, because the end of the fight is basically you have this big droid in the middle of the room, and he's basically there to stop anybody from coming in. Obviously, I mean that's what all world bosses. That's what all the bosses are for. But his last phase is 60 seconds. He's got a 60-second countdown, and if he makes it to that 60-second countdown, he blows up and kills everybody.
Makes sense.
And yep, we killed him just as he was exploding, I guess. So.
And we had a couple of times that were like sub 5%, and at least one time that was 1%.
Yeah, we were real
so
close one time.
I know anyone who has been raiding during the course of their gaming career has had that experience, but it's
It's when the screen kind of fades to black, but then there's still an achievement pop up, and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Hey, we'll take it.
And it was funny too because we had this one guy on our team, Machete. He was like, we're gonna make it's like 4%. He's like, we're gonna make it this time. I'm like, dude, don't jinx it. Sure enough, 1%. We all died, and that was
the
it.
jinx. Yep, gotta be careful of that drinks.
So
that was hilarious. Yeah, that was.
It was pretty funny. He felt bad about it. I'm like, nah, man.
Yeah.
No.
Did anyone yell it's execute time?
Actually, no, I don't think so because we were just all focused on everything trying to kill him.
So focused.
Focus.
It's a lot of movement. It's a lot of, and
my
it's
gosh,
a DPS check too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because there's fire and laser beams and all right. So also when R4 came out, they released the a new way to get gear, which you mentioned.
Yep.
It's basically you can do a couple quests to unlock a vendor to buy how we used to gear before with all the armorings, the modifications and enhancements. You have a way to unlock those now, so you can basically buy 330 gear, which is what our item rating and the highest item rating you can get without doing like nightmare mode or hard mode raids or anything like that, which is made it a lot easier for people to get gear. Although in the next patch, which we'll talk about later, they're changing that again. They're changing some of that again, so that'll make it a little bit easier also. So
what do they? I missed that. You're going to talk about that in 711.
Well, we could talk about it. Basically, they're increasing the number of drops you get for currency.
Okay.
For the daily resource matrices, which I don't even know what they're called. Are they still called daily? Yeah, I guess they are. Yeah. They changed it from something else, I think, to daily resource matrix.
Used to be aquatic.
Yeah.
That's right, because it was Manon. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're dropping a lot more of those. Like the current world boss quest drops 20 if you kill 4 world bosses, right? In the next patch, it's going to be 40.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically
80,
they're doubling it.
You need 80 for like almost every piece of high-end gear to upgrade it. So.
Yeah, you need a lot of them. So they're reducing that burden on people and making it, so you'll be able to gear a little bit faster. Luckily, everything is still, bind on legacy, so you can move it around to other characters if you want. So, but yeah, it's gearing has been a challenge this time because it was such a big shift from what we've had in the past. But we're making it work. So.
And Seema, how many operation teams do we have running besides yours?
Well, we have 2 on Sunday night, 1 on Monday night, 1 on Wednesday night, and 1 on Thursday night.
Awesome.
Oh, what, Corley?
There's 2 on Monday.
There's 2 on Monday.
Yeah,
and 1 on Sunday and 2 on Monday.
Yeah, 1 on Sunday, 2 on Monday. So
okay,
we have
I always
a Sith side.
I always get Sunday and Monday mixed up.
We have Sith side is Sunday. Monday is 2 Republic teams, and then Thursday is and you know what? I forgot Wednesday. I forgot
Wednesday. Yeah,
I forgot Sup. Yeah, Sup. We have
Sup.
a Sith side team, and then Thursday is also a Sith. So we have 5 operations teams, not just 4.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot. We had this is the most operations team we've had, throughout. We used to be only had 2, but.
Yeah, but most of those teams have been formed for, at least 2 years, multiple
2 or 3 years,
Are they all
Yep.
8-person teams?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every once in a while, the Monday night teams group up and do 16-man stuff.
Right. Makes sense.
Sometimes we get together with another guild
Right.
another content creator
And
in a
Taco-
star. So
That meets on Sundays. They sometimes group up with another guild also, and we'll do a 16-man.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh,
yep. And we've been trying to do. Mei Long has been trying to run Flashpoint night on Fridays, once a month.
Mhm.
Although he's had a lot of real life stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know, the summer has been really busy. We've had
Oh, yeah.
participation has dropped. I mean, just about every game, I think, but it's
summer
dropped
for
off
you.
a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
because everybody's doing, you know,
Vacation
family
and
stuff.
family stuff. And
and we've had 2 years where they haven't been able to do that kind of stuff.
Right,
So
right.
you know, now
Absolutely.
they're so it is noticeable that we have a little bit less people, but I think it's going to start picking up here in the winter
oh, yeah. Yeah.
and everything like that. So, let's see. Same
I'm looking forward to when we get Galactic Seasons 3.
yes, same.
I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be, what the rewards are going to be, and what the activities are going to be.
And what lessons
Yeah, it should be
they've
interesting.
taken away from the first two and changes that they've made.
Yeah.
I hope they don't change it too much as far as what you have to do, because Galactic Seasons 1 was you were always worried. All right, am I going to do enough? Am I doing enough?
Yeah.
Am I doing enough? With
was
Galactic
stressful.
Seasons 2, Galactic Seasons 2, you didn't even think about it because they
It was-
switched it from being more of a daily thing to a weekly thing,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
and it was just you just did it.
The only,
Yeah,
You
it
know,
was
you
so
didn't have to worry
much
about
more
it.
fun.
the
on
only
Galactic
thing that
Seasons
bugged me
2.
about season 2 is what you're dealing with, Seema, right now. You, Max, mentioned on the last podcast is the reputation. Like, it just seemed
Right.
off. Like you
Yeah.
weren't getting
I-
enough of the tokens, or you weren't getting enough of the currency to buy the tokens to turn in.
No, I had plenty of tokens. My
Yeah.
problem was I didn't turn them in because I didn't realize how low the weekly cap was. And then I wasn't going to be able to, So I personally had plenty of tokens, and I just continued to turn them in after.
Yep.
But what I missed and what a lot of people missed, but a lot of people didn't miss, so it's on me, is they said in the beginning of Galactic Seasons 2 that there was an achievement based on finishing the rep within Season 2.
Right.
And they said
Yeah.
there was a really low weekly cap. So you had to really start from the beginning.
Yeah. You had
To
to be
make
hitting
that
the
one
cap
achievement.
every week. Yeah.
Yeah, and I missed that completely, so I didn't get to do that achievement. And I regret. I
and
filled
and a
with
lot
regret.
a lot of people were also using it to get conquest points because you get
Yes.
conquest points for
For
increasing
turning
a rep
that
every week.
45K every week. Or
Yeah.
every day.
So
Yeah.
that's what a
Every
lot
day,
of people
yeah.
were doing that, and you know, I luckily I got it done a couple weeks ago. I did it 2 weekends ago while I was playing on my Steam Deck. I was sitting in a hotel room farming the syndicate plans,
Right.
which stop dropping when 7.1.1 comes out, which is the next patch. So
Yeah. No, that was my thing, because my daily routine for doing conquest on the character was log in, turn in syndicate plans for the 45K, turn in some companion thing that raised the companion for another 16K, and then go do typically one daily area.
Yeah.
And you cleared both, kill X number of creatures in that, plus doing the daily area, and you'd hit 100K conquest on that character and be done.
Right. That's what I was doing too, and I was like smugly patting myself on the back for not rushing through this rep, right?
Right.
Because I
Yeah.
could get all these conquest points for them, but then I was like, oh no.
Yeah. No, same. So,
yeah, that did catch a lot of us by surprise because we didn't all read the patch notes like we probably should have.
Right,
So-
right.
Lesson learned on my part. I don't know if that's a lesson for BioWare or not, but I'm going to they won't catch me on that one again.
They put it out, so you
No.
know,
Yeah,
you
they
can't really
did.
blame them. So,
Yep.
But so here's the thing. Was the incentive the incentive was basically what's the reward for hitting it during season 2?
just an
It was-
achievement and a
It was
was a
customization,
title.
I think.
Oh,
was it a
okay.
title.
I
Was
think
it
it was a
customization?
I think it was a customization for the companion you got.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because yes, that's what it was. It was a companion.
But it's mostly the
Oh, to make him
achievement
look
that
like
I cared
Cad
about.
Bane, wasn't it?
That's what it was. Yes.
Okay.
It was to make him look like Cad Bane, but I think without the hat though.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
was
that
kinda weird.
was the controversy. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
look
that's
like
right.
Cad Bane without the hat?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he had to, I don't know.
Chad
Chad
Bane.
Bane.
Yes.
Chad Bane. That's what we called him. That's
That's
right.
amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
I was trying to remember what Max called him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
but,
I like having that daily like log in, get the ding of okay, you advanced, the season. So
Yeah. So, but again, those plans stop dropping when 7.1.1 comes out.
right.
We don't know when that comes out yet. They said fall. So
We are now in the fall.
And
Yeah.
actually, when they said fall, it was like the first day of fall.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're
Oh
like,
gosh, it was the
Exactly
other day.
yeah.
yeah.
So it's sort of like,
So hopefully
okay.
it's not right before Thanksgiving or right before Christmas. Although Christmas
Well-
I guess would be in winter, but so
Right,
there we
right.
go.
Well, yeah, after the
it
21st.
did make me go and turn the rest of my tokens
Still-
in just to be
Yeah.
safe.
I think it's still fall until December 19th.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
no, yeah.
that's
and-
right.
Yeah,
That's
until
right.
until the solstice. Yes.
Yeah, but you know what? The other stuff that's coming in that patch is Feast of Prosperity is coming back. So if they equate that to Thanksgiving in the
Right.
U.S., maybe it's going to happen in the beginning of November into October. I don't know. We'll see. But that's coming back with the next patch. And then Manon is getting conquest objectives. So
thank
currently, I
goodness.
guess there are none. Although don't they have a? Isn't
It's
there
a daily
rampage?
area, but it's not a.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't think
not
so.
really
It
good.
shows you how much
conquest.
I've actually.
Yeah.
It shows you how much I've actually done in Manon. I've done the
Yeah.
story. I've done a couple of the dailies, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to have to figure this out right now while I'm trying to.
So-
Because I think we were trying to do other stuff when I was doing
The
it.
part of me that enjoys replaying classic WoW
Mhm.
also enjoys in SWTOR doing the daily areas that I'm already familiar with.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
It's like comfort. It's comfort gaming.
Well,
Yeah, it is comfort gaming, and so yes, I don't have that level of comfort with Manon yet, so I don't feel like, oh, I've got 15 minutes, I'll go do Manon, or a half an
Yeah.
hour, however long it takes.
Mhm.
But I'll get there.
It's the same for the pirate stuff for me.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done all that yet either. I've done it a few times, but I'm like, I just got to get there and start doing it more.
My issue with Manon is that they threw 2 RNGs in there. That like with Black Hole, you just you go on autopilot and you cruise through the
Right.
black hole because you know where everything is, you know what's there. But with Manon, you've got to get the plans to drop to get the seeker droid active, and then you have to use the seeker droid in the right area, which can slow you down because some days you'll hit it like, oh, it's over there. Let me just move and go get it. And the other time it's like, no, this is all the way across the map. So you're going to have to hit every place on the way there. And then,
I mean, if I have a,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if I have an option, I will skip a quest that has Seeker Droid
Yeah.
for that reason.
Well, and then the other one is you go to, I think it's on the Republic side. You go to the daily area where you've got to kill those. You've got to kill the. No, it's the Imperial side. Kill the Resistance people, and they drop a ID chip, and there's like 10 of them you have to get, and that area is always overcamped, and so thank goodness they put multi-tagging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They put the multi-tagging in, which solves a lot of that problem, especially like CZ198. You can get all your stuff in CZ198. So,
It's interesting because it changes your tactics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, someone's
Although there's
engaged that
still-
instead of going somewhere else, you're like, oh, let me pile on.
Yeah,
Right.
help do it because it'll take less time. But
Yeah.
there are still a lot of people, I think, in the game that
Don't realize.
No.
they don't
exactly.
realize it's there, and they'll walk right by you. It's like, dude, you
It
could
also
hit this.
doesn't work
Yeah.
across faction if you're just killing regular mobs. So if you pile
Yeah,
in,
that is true.
you pile on, and it's someone
And
of
they
the
go
other
gray.
faction, then
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. So
Which
I
is
think
fine.
They still
I-
need to tweak it a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. It needs some tweaks. However, I don't mind that faction
No.
barrier.
Yeah. Yep. So one of these days we'll get, Imperial and Sith, and they'll have like a, some kind of guild where it's not you're not straight Sith, not straight Imperial, or it's
Right,
like,
right.
kind of.
Yeah.
Like
I thought they were
faction
kind of
thing or
going that
something.
with the Alliance Commander thing, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they did with with the companions and stuff,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But other stuff coming in this patch is outfitter customizations. So we finally got at 7.1 7.1, I think. Was it
Yes.
7.1?
Or
We got the
7.1
weapon where they added weapons,
Right.
which is nice. But now we're also you're going to be able to like rename the outfits and stuff like that, so you can sort them and do stuff. It doesn't really do anything with the outfit, but it helps you organize them.
Yep.
If you have 20 different outfits, which it is Space Barbie, so I'm sure people have a lot. So
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. There's class balances coming too, because when 7.0 came out, it changed so much stuff with the gearing and everything.
now they're fine tuning.
Yeah, they're fine tuning it now because stuff really got hard. I mean, some places got really hard. Like we used to be able to cruise through vet mode,
Eternity Vault.
Eternity Vault, and Karagas Palace. We couldn't even kill the first boss in Eternity Vault, which is the first operation or first raid that came out in the game.
Yeah.
And
10 years ago.
Right.
And it was a little bit humbling. It was like, crap, what did they do to this?
Exactly.
Super boss.
Yeah. So we finally did kill it, though. We did kill it on vet mode. So that was good. We did we finish the whole? I don't remember if we finished the whole thing.
I don't remember either.
I don't think we did.
I remember way back in the day when we first did hard mode, that boss, it was a DPS check, and it took us a few weeks to get it. So I would not be surprised if the rest of EV was fine.
Yeah, I think we did try to. I think we killed Garge, but I think we ran out of time because we were going there to see if we could do it, and we did it. So,
at the end of the night, yeah.
The R4 bosses are being tweaked, which is kind of nice,
R4.
unfortunately.
R4 being the new operation.
Yep.
Yeah, R4 Anomaly. This is a new operation. They're tweaking those bosses. Unfortunately, it's not in the modes we need.
Right.
Right.
Of course not.
No, they're reducing the health and the DPS that the first boss does in vet mode, which is hard mode, heroic mode, whatever you want to call it. So, and then I think there is a couple story mode tweaks. They're doing some of the later bosses, but we haven't got there yet. I think
Right.
Lady Dominique or what? I don't even know what her name is, but she's evil, I guess, and that's the last boss. Yeah. But yeah, so when we get there, hopefully it'll be a little bit easier.
What's the cartel market unlock?
So the cartel market unlock, I was actually saving that a little bit for last on this.
Okay.
But no, the last of this part, the last of the patch part, which is what I was.
Gotcha.
So I guess people have been clamoring for a long time to be able to unlock the collector's edition vendor, which is up in the top part of the fleet on both fleets in the VIP area. So you could always buy the wristband, they call it, to get into the VIP area because there's some special vendors up there. But there's one vendor up there that you could only use if you had a collector's edition, and that's either the box collector's edition or the Digitalist collector's edition, which what a lot of people bought. I have the box sitting over here. I was going to pull it down, but I'm not going to run over there. But
Right.
yeah, and so you'll be able to buy the stuff that's on that vendor, and there's I think a mount, there's a couple decos, and some companion customizations.
Okay.
And some gear.
Yeah, there is because you have a faction specific gear look. Like you have the Imperial Soldier gear on the Imperial one, and I forget what it is on the. I think it's some kind of trooper looking stuff on the Republic side. I don't know why anybody's been clamoring by this stuff because it's not that special.
I think if I hadn't bought it and didn't have it from the beginning, I would want it because it's a spot in the guild that a spot on the fleet that when you get to it you can't enter.
Yeah.
Well, you can go up there. You can pay 1 million credits, which is nothing nowadays, to get the ID band to go up there. You just can't use that one vendor.
Isn't that per character though?
Yeah, but still 1 million credits. I mean,
I know. I would want it.
Yeah,
I can understand
it's
wanting
nice.
it.
It's nice that, but I don't think we still have to see exactly what this unlock is going to be, because you might still have to buy that VIP band to get up there. So you might have to, I don't know.
Yes,
maybe
we don't.
come with it.
That's right. We don't know for sure what it's.
We don't know.
And
I would hope it's both if you're paying real money, but yeah.
We don't know what it's going to cost. Like it might even be an item on the cartel market.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I mean, there's been people clamoring for it. It's good. Maybe this will let them add more stuff to it. I mean, over the years they've added like one or two things. You know, like when they
Yeah,
release
because
Strongholds, they
they
put
put
decos on
decos.
there.
Yeah.
But it would be really nice if they put some other stuff. Oh, and there's also crystals, color crystals
Yes.
are on there.
Yep. The ones
So
that
you
came
have
with
the-
it.
Yep. Yeah, and they have a low level one, and then a regular one. Which I mean, everybody's going to use the
higher level. Yeah.
the higher level one
Yeah.
anyways. But yeah, so
Right.
it's good. I'm glad they're doing it because hopefully they it gives them more incentive to put stuff on there now that more people can get to it maybe. So
Absolutely.
we'll see. Yeah. But yeah. And then you mentioned it earlier in the podcast. We talked about the Steam Deck. So this isn't really SWTOR specific, but I mean, they had SEMA and Max had their podcast. I was on there. I don't, I guess
Yep.
I have become
Yes, you were. You were
a
the
guild
key.
expert. I don't know
The
why.
key.
Yeah.
You were the key to that episode.
Yes.
But yeah, so you can play SWTOR, on a Steam Deck. So this is the Steam Deck right here. We talked about it in the Escape podcast that the only way I've gotten it to work is run the Steam Deck in desktop mode and use a keyboard and mouse, because if you try to use, because these little pads on here, these are like mouse pads.
Right.
Mhm.
If you try to use these, you just start looking to the ceiling and spinning
Oh yeah,
around.
yeah, absolutely
You know,
bullshit. Yeah.
yeah, it's not fun. So I use a keyboard and mouse. I use this. So basically, it's just a self-contained. It's like a laptop
Right.
that doesn't open, and you just, if you can stand playing it on the 7-inch screen, which I actually did. Well, I took a trip to Michigan because we were doing some family stuff, and one night we had nothing going on, so I sat in my hotel room and I was farming syndicate plans using my Steam Deck, playing over hotel Wi-Fi, which was even better. That made it so
Right.
much fun, but it worked fine. I mean, it works
Tiny
fine. You're not,
screen, hotel Wi-Fi. That sounds like
Yeah.
the life.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely not a high-end machine. I mean, everybody knows that already. It's running on Linux, which Linux isn't the limiting factor there. It's the CPU,
Yeah.
or the AMD APU in it. But you can also do some stuff with the AMD drivers and stuff in there to scale it up. You can put it on a monitor. I realized the other day when I was trying to mess with it on my regular monitor, my 1080p monitor, because that's all I have. I had it set for like low, like to save battery. So I'm
Oh,
wondering if I
okay.
get better performance. I wonder if I get better performance with it if I put it in some kind of performance mode with it plugged
Probably,
in.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's a good thing. I played Guild Wars 2 on it also. Since Guild Wars 2 is now on Steam, I don't know if you guys mentioned that a couple shows ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, with Guild Wars 2, did you also do keyboard and mouse?
yes, I did. But it works better.
Yeah.
With-
it would.
with
Because they
the-
only have the 4 abilities.
Yeah, so you could, if you did some tweaking with it, you could definitely map the buttons and stuff. But I also figured out a way to make, this is totally not Star Wars, the Old Republic related,
That's
but
fine.
to make Guild Wars 2 on Steam work with your original Guild Wars 2 account.
Yes, I saw
Oh,
that. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and it works, which is nice. Yeah, you still have to log in. You don't get that integrated,
Right.
login feature. You still have to use their launcher, but that made it so much nicer. I mean, because
Absolutely.
I like having everything in Steam, just because it's all in one place. I hit, I load. If I have to reload my computer, I download everything. Just say, all right, yeah, install all these, and it does it for me.
Yep.
Yeah, and there was one person in that SWTOR Escape podcast comments on the YouTube video that said, I've been playing 100 hours on a Steam Deck using a controller. You just got to mess with it. And there's like 3 or 4 people like, hey, post what you did so we can use it. I haven't heard back, so we're still waiting on that. It'd be nice to know.
Yeah.
It could be. I'm hoping it's true, but
Someone
somebody's
out there
doing it.
on the internet says you can do it. So
Yeah.
Right,
must be-
yeah.
and I'm sure you can. We got to figure it out. And
Yeah.
but
Could be
yeah,
a
the Steam Deck
sensitivity tweak or
is
something.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually thinking about trying to do ESO on here because ESO
Oh,
is
that would
already
be
geared
perfect,
for
yeah.
controllers.
Yep.
So that
And
might
Final
be
Fantasy 14 is also geared for controllers and
Oh, there you
would
go.
work as well.
But is Final Fantasy 14 in Steam?
Yes,
Is
I
it?
believe so. Yeah, it's
Okay, 'cause when I
a
played
weird roundabout.
Okay, because the one
But
time I
look-
did
look-
play it wasn't. So
Yeah, it's you still have to. It's a weird thing where you do the Steam login, but if you have to do like anything with your account, you still have to go through like the Square Enix account because it's their account system is just a pain in the butt.
But
Yeah,
No matter where you
Steam,
are.
the Steam license is still separate from the PC, still
Yes.
separate from the console.
They could correct. Yeah, they consider that its
Oh.
own console. Steam is a console. It's the separate from PC. So
Right.
gotcha. All right. So yeah, but it's a good thing. I mean, if you play mainly PC games like I do, I don't own any consoles. I don't own a Switch. I've never been in the whole Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox. It's the best thing you can have next to a laptop, and it's cheaper than a high-end laptop, or a gaming laptop. And it performs a lot better than most low-end, laptops that
yeah.
have really
Right,
low-end graphics and stuff.
I
So,
like the idea
yeah.
of it because I can just picture, being in your recliner or in bed even
Yeah.
Nope.
playing Steam
Yeah.
games.
Or like you said, or
Like-
you're on vacation or you're at a hotel for work or whatever. It makes it easier.
So
I mean,
now
you pull
I
your
just
Steam Deck out of your purse.
Exactly.
it is a little probably well, that's depending on what kind of purse you carry. It might be a
I
little
might-
bit big.
I might
But-
have to embiggen my purse
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, yeah.
go.
That looks like a fit in like a nice lounge fly
Yeah.
backpack
Yeah.
or something.
So
Yeah.
a purse of holding. You just don't
Yeah,
have to-
absolutely.
Purse of holding, right?
A laptop bag.
Corley,
another
how
good-
do you get that to like a television? How do you get that to a television? Is it hardwired or wired?
So it has USB-C, one
Okay.
USB-C port on it,
Okay.
and basically you need a USB-C hub. They do have a Steam Deck dock coming out, an official one.
Okay.
There are a couple companies that make I don't want to say knockoffs, but they make third-party docks
Yeah.
for this, where you just set it in. Like I 3D printed it. This is just a stand
Mhm.
for it, But basically, the dock is the same kind of thing, and it has a built-in
Power cord,
USB-C
yeah.
hub and everything in it.
Yeah, I've got one of those for the Switch. It works really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like a dock for a Switch. So you plug it in, and then you can put it on your TV. This interface, the main interface, will work on a TV. If you've ever used big picture mode,
Right.
with Steam, same thing.
Okay.
It's exactly what this interface is, and it's really good. I like it. Anyway, if I'm going someplace where I know I'm going to be waiting for a while, getting oil changed in the car or something like that, take a video and you can sit there and play games. I used to do it. I used to do it with a Chromebook and NVIDIA GeForce Now,
Right.
but that was always kind of weird. But this, you can play any game that you can play. Any game that doesn't require to be online, you can play this without a connection. So it's really nice.
And the only
I-
thing I think, didn't they say you couldn't play WoW on it for some reason, or what was there was one fairly popular game that they said it will work on the Steam Deck, but it's not supposed to, or something.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of games that don't work on it now. They have different categories of the games. They have Steam or Deck verified,
Okay.
can be played on Deck or unknown.
Gotcha.
And so there's a lot of games that are unknown. Star Wars is one that's it might work. What does it say? It says it's playable. That's what it is. So it's
Got it.
verified Steam, Deck verified, playable, and then unknown. So SWTOR is playable, and basically when you play it, it tells you, hey, this might have small text on the screen, or you might need a keyboard to enter text, or some kind of on-screen keyboard.
Right.
Which works in does have an on-screen keyboard, like your phone has. If you're running in the big picture in the Steam launcher, but if you're in the desktop mode, which is basically a Linux desktop, it runs Arch Linux with KDE, I think is what I said it was. Maybe GNOME, I don't know. So you don't have that, so you do have to have a keyboard and mouse. Now, if you can get WoW loaded on this, you could probably run it. If it runs in Proton, which is the Linux Windows wrapper that they use for running Windows executables on Linux. If it's compatible with Proton, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to run it on here. You just need to get it loaded and have it run. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to run it in the Steam launcher thing, but you could run it from a desktop.
I wonder if we'll ever see a Blizzard deck where you could play like
Yeah.
Call of Duty and WoW.
I mean, that's
it's
also
called the
people-
Xbox, Seema. That's because they're going, remember?
Yeah.
Since
Oh,
Microsoft
right,
bought
right.
Activision.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be interesting to know how Lars got Linux via Steam. Like I'm trying to. So Lars posted in there
Yeah.
that he's been running it for a while. As long as it runs in Linux, it'll run
Oh,
on
but
Steam
Linux.
Deck.
Yeah, not Steam, but Linux.
He
yeah,
meant
Yeah.
Linux, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
With the Wine
Yeah,
emulator. So, yeah.
Either
Yep.
Wine.
Wine.
Yeah. I think Proton is more. I think it's actually owned by Steam or Valve. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit. I haven't never messed with Wine, but obviously Proton with the Steam Deck I've done. So it
You've never messed with wine?
well
Sorry.
yeah the the Linux the thing that emulates
Right.
Windows on Linux. But yeah, so it's a good thing. Like I said on Escape Podcast, you're not going to run anything on 4K out of this thing, but you'd probably be able to get something 1080p. Definitely older games in 1080p
Right.
running on this thing. And No Man's Sky runs like a dream on this thing.
Wow.
It's like it was almost
Optimized for
built
it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It runs great. So, and that, unfortunately you need a network connection for it, but it works. It
Cool.
looks good. I just got to get better using a controller because I am not a controller person. So I use it to fly in No Man's Sky. I use it to fly the ship around, and then I use mouse and keyboard to rock around on planets. But
Gotcha.
yeah, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
if you have the
I'm
money,
pretty addicted to mouse and keyboard, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
if,
I might be
Yeah.
able to on a brand new game that I've never played before.
Right. That makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. I
make an
mean,
adjustment,
this.
especially if it means I could play in bed.
Yeah. For ESO.
Yeah. Right.
For ESO, I can't not use a controller.
Really?
It's hard to play mouse and keyboard now that I've switched over.
really, wow. See, I don't know. So this is the controller I use.
Right.
It's a Google Stadia controller, but I plug it into my computer. I wish I could use it wirelessly, but I plug this into my computer
Yeah.
to fly around in No Man's Sky and other games like Bastion or
Right.
what's the other game that made by the Bastion people?
Transistor.
Yes, that game. Oh, that game was awesome. If you've never played that, but those, I mean, they work great on here. So.
Cool.
But, yeah, it's a good system. If you have the cash and you don't want to buy a laptop, this is a great alternative.
And it does a lot more available than they were expecting. So
Yeah.
Yes, they have said they expect all stuff to be shipped out third quarter now, which I mean they only got a couple more weeks left.
Yeah.
in-
Yeah.
in
That's almost.
or no, I guess we're fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, yeah,
Almost.
third quarter, yeah.
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 I'm
There's a
thinking-
week.
I'm thinking fiscal year for some reason. I don't know
Right.
why. But yeah, it's yeah. So I think Max pre-ordered one, and it said next year, but now he might get it before the end of the year. So we'll see.
Sweet.
Yep. Did you have anything else to add about SWTOR, Seema?
No, I was just
completely
looking at-
spaced?
I'm just looking at Transistor on Steam now.
Oh, that game and that soundtrack for that game that's
Yes.
that's
yes.
fun.
Soundtracks are awesome
Yeah.
in general.
Definitely.
They really add a lot
Yeah.
to the world of a game.
Yeah. Especially that game because the main character in that game is a singer and
Mhm.
she loses her
Oh.
voice.
Oh, that makes that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
sounds would be very effective.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the little trailer they have on Steam, and it's very sort of compelling art style.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
It's great.
I will just add that they said this already at the top of the show, but we do our MFN on Tuesday nights. Everyone is welcome. You don't even have to be in the guild. Just join us on Discord, and we'll get you in our group. And all those operations teams that we mentioned, every week usually at least one of them and more needs an alternate for that night. So if you want to raid on a Sunday night and they don't have openings on their team, it's still worth it to contact the raid leader,
Yes,
which
like, get in line.
and yeah, and you can play alt. And the way SWTOR is, you can jump into an operation. There's not a huge learning curve. All our raid leaders will walk you through, and yeah, that's it. And when I say talk to the raid leader, I'm not going to list all the raid leaders here, but just jump into Discord and say, Sunday night ops, who do I talk to?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think Sunday night, at least a couple of the teams have spots that they're still trying to fill permanently.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, if anybody is out there that wants to join a team, as long as you got availability on Sunday or
And if they aren't this week, they will be next week because attrition happens.
Yes.
Yep.
And life happens.
Yep. So anyway, come and join us. That's my message.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yes. You will have fun. It is mandatory.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's mandatory.
All right, that sounds like that's about it. So that'll be our show for tonight. And while our lovely chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank Corley and Seema for joining us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
you for having us.
If you want to plug anything, now's your time.
Behind the Games podcast.
It's delightful.
Plug.
Yeah.
You can find them on newoverlords.com. Also on Spotify.
Yeah, I don't have anything to plug because I'm not doing any kind of regular schedule. So, because one day to the next, it's like I got to work on this. I got to do I can't. Sorry.
Yeah. Awesome.
And if you come and subscribe to us on YouTube, that will make Max very happy.
I'm sure. All right. Well, if you have questions or comments for our show, you can email us at podcast@AIE. Wow, I can't read tonight. podcast.aieguild.org@gmail.com. It changed, so you know.
Yes, it's your muscle memory. You're talking
I've
muscle
been
memory.
like reading the same thing for like how many years? You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mewcow is at The Mewcow. I am at Cyberwaif, and Tet is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video approximately every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Max. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, AIE-guild.org, podcast-live-stream, and our server and the Discord server for our chat, which is in the AIE Guild Discord. For past episodes, you can find them on YouTube. Just look for the AIE Podcast. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
Yep. And now it's time to play all of the great AIE member segments we received this week. I did talk to the person that promised we would have a segment coming up soon, and they will have it for next show. So real life got busy.
It does that.
Yep.
If not, we might be able to pin him down because next time we're talking to male lung and possibly ducks, and that's ducks with an X, not ducks like which would be interesting to be talking to ducks.
No, I would be hungry because I really love duck.
But no, it'll be male lung and possibly ducks about Lord of the Rings Online. So look forward to that.
Yep.
So until then, AIE.
This is Corley.
This is Seema.
This is Mewcow.
This is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Yay! Awesome show.
I can't believe that ending actually worked.
I know.
I actually looked at it. I'm like, oh wait, am I supposed to?
Yeah, I did too.
That's why I put it in the chat. That's why I put it in the chat itself. I'm like, our pregame chat. I'm like, all right, I'll make sure they know it's there.
Yeah. Anytime.
I didn't realize that's what you meant. So
yeah.
When you said that about ducks, my mind completely got taken over by that. What's that question where would you rather be attacked by
100 max-sized
giant
ducks
duck
or
something?
one giant max-sized duck or whatever?
One duck-sized max or 100
I want the max-sized ducks because that's more duck.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime anyone says mandatory fun, I fall into the Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Why is no one having fun? I specifically
I
requested it.
requested it.
Yes.
It's such a good clip. Oh,
I love Fultz. I love
Right,
him.
yeah.
His
He's
deadpan
a great
is definitely
character. That's a
yeah.
great show.
It
Yes.
really is.
Yeah. It was just
Love
such-
that
It's still
shit.
on, isn't it?
Nope.
No, it ended. It ended
it
last
ended.
season.
Oh.
Yeah, last year's. Yeah, no, it's one. I love that show though.
Yeah.
No show titles for us.
Wow. Tiber must be taking a week off, which is fine. So
Yes.
Then
think
I
Max is
suggest
running around, so.
pumpkin donuts.
Pumpkin spice Sotor and Steam Deck. Pumpkin spice Steam Deck.
pumpkin
There you go.
spice Steam Deck. There we go. Perfect.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Shuffling the Sotor deck. I like
Steam-
Steam Pumpkin.
Steam-
I also
Steam
we go.
pumpkin. That's awesome.
Steamkin. Yes. All right.
that is also delightful.
Yes. All right. So
All right.
Steam pumpkin.
you like Steam
Yeah.
Pumpkin?
Yeah.
All right. We can go with that. It keeps wanting to autocorrect it to 2 words. I'm like, no, it has to be 1 word.
No, it's one word. Darn it.
All right.
We know what we said.
We know what we said. All right. Chat room, thank you for joining us
Thank
as
you,
always. We will talk to you folks in 2 weeks. 2
Bye.
weeks.